I got out of film school and I kind of had this sense of I feel like there should be a way to make money making these. So in making a short film for a business, you have to remember that even if you're making what you want to make, it's still a form of advertising. So whatever you do with it has to work. Art and entertainment need to merge, and I want people to see the things that I make. So it's really important in designing the idea that you also design a strategy and how people are actually going to see it. I very much have the attitude that if you're good at something, you shouldn't have to pay to do it. You should have other people pay you to do it. What is this idea? Do people actually want to see it? Is this worth actually making? And does it excite me? So the first thing first, you have to come up with an idea that you actually care about, and then you're gonna have to pitch it to somebody, explain why you think it's a good idea, why you think it's gonna work. If you're passionate enough about it, then people will be gravitated towards the idea. But passion can, even though it can land projects, a lot of the time it's not good to build a project based off of passion without the infrastructure of the work. I have this problem a lot of the time where I get so excited about a particular thing, but I don't go through the ins and outs of figuring out what is it gonna do and where are we gonna put it and who's gonna actually watch it. This is not a place for people who just wanna express all the tumultuous emotions that they're feeling through an art. This is being able to do some of that with your art, because I 100% believe that life reflects art, but also being able to make a profit while doing it. So the way I approach marketing as a whole is just really, really simple, which is just make something that people want to see. A lot of people talk about it needs to be really quick, you need to grab people in the first 5 seconds, or you can't do long form. I kind of just ignore most of that stuff. I say, what would I actually want to see? What's engaging to me? What is quality? It's not about engaging them in the first 5 seconds. It's about proving to them that you know what you're doing in the first 5 seconds. Most of the time, it's hard to get people to understand why a short film would be good for a company. And really the angle I've figured out that's best is understanding as a piece for a brand. And we'll talk later about where to put those in order to help build the kind of quality and clout of that brand. But to me, a brand kind of works in 3 ways, which is exposure is brand, brand is loyalty, loyalty is paying customers for a long time. Loyalty is what keeps a business alive. You would be surprised how many businesses operate on 10 to 20 regulars rather than people thinking that you need thousands and thousands of customers. I mean, I could live and pay all of my bills off of 2 clients. So even if you make a thing and it only gets whatever 300-400 views, if there was one person in there that fell in love with that idea, they will keep going back to that business again and again and again, and they'll be an advocate for it. The best marketing is word of mouth still. And so if you can build sort of a deep welling sense of loyalty inside someone for a particular company because they love it so much, then you've just kind of kept that business alive. Another thing I've noticed in designing short films for companies is because you're doing it because you want to make a short film, it's always a good idea to build in a couple contingency plans in case the entire project doesn't work. When you're shooting a big project, I don't understand why people wouldn't ever just get as much media out of it as they possibly can. I've kind of just started hiring behind the scenes on every single project that I do because little making ofs the projects are as important as the project a lot of the time. The last thing you want to do is post the thing and leave it and just wait and hope for the best. I will build a media marketing plan, so I'll design a poster, I will design a couple of clips, I'll put together a behind the scenes, I'll take my favorite stills from the project and be able to post those as photos. And if you can make something that makes people enjoy each other even more and enjoy the business in the meantime, then you've won. You're not gonna have enough money. I'm just gonna tell you that. A few things that I found that are really, really, really useful. Thrift store. Get a lot of props, get a lot of ideas, get a lot of costumes from the thrift store. Ask people what they have, what are the resources that they're willing to donate. See if you know other businesses. If you're in the business community, you probably have people who are around you that have connections to certain things that you'll need. Because I kind of have the attitude of I would rather get some money and still make the thing than have no money and have to put it on the shelf. But you can make a really great film for $2,500. Robert Rodriguez always said something that I kind of hold near and dear, which is you can solve problems 2 ways. You can throw money at it or you can be creative. And so if you're working on a low budget and making the things that you want to make, most of the time you're not going to have the budget, and so you just got to be creative. Short films don't always take a lot of time, depending on the budget you have and the team, but a lot of the time they can be a few months to pull off. And so I found that it's really important to have the right reason for making the particular project. Usually I'll find like an anchor. It's an idea that inspires me or something I need to get better at in order to improve myself as a filmmaker. And that ends up kind of carrying me through the entire project because there's a lot of the time where it sucks. And if you have a good reason for doing the particular project personal to you that's not just about money or the business, then you'll be able to do a much, much better job and have fun the entire way through and push yourself and try things that you wouldn't have otherwise tried. And then the last thing that helps budget a lot, especially when asking for money, is being really specific about what you need. I try not to pay for locations. I find that if you find a location that you like, especially if it's like a public establishment or a private one, then you can usually talk to people and explain what you're doing and see if you can get them involved. I've had projects where they paid me for the location because in having the location, you can shoot some promo stuff while you're filming, be able to do them a little walkthrough video or a quick little 30-second ad that you can just shoot, run, and gun. And so even if they don't end up paying you to shoot at that location, then they'll at least let you shoot there for free. And then you have these great little gifts to be able to provide people. Also, that's what creates long-term work. They'll see what you're doing on that project and be like, this is really cool what they're doing. And they gave us a free ad out of it, and all we have to do is let them film here. You have the film, it's done, you're ready to put it out there. Hopefully you've built a plan on where you want to actually put it, and now you have to follow through. Success for every project looks very, very different, so don't count yourself out until you know it's a flop. Some projects take a year to gestate in order to find an audience. Some projects get a ton of views really fast. Some projects get a few views, but one really loyal customer. Some projects just make the owner laugh and build connection within the actual establishment. One thing that I really, really love, and I've figured out how to be able to just pitch people on projects based on just the experience that they'll have. Sometimes people have never acted or never been in a film or never been involved in film whatsoever. Life is about relationships. Those are the memories that people talk about on their deathbed. Anything that you can do to help cultivate really cool experience and relationship with people, that is going to be your win.
I'm an addict for your love, it keeps me high, keeps me high.
Now that I've talked about a little bit of overview of how I approach making short films as advertisements, I want to talk about a couple specific examples. So I made 3 different videos of 3 different examples that I've done for different companies and kind of what I thought about and how I approached pitching those different projects, what the process was like making them, and how they worked or didn't work. So if you want to see those will be in the description below. Thank you guys. I will talk to you soon.
Keeps me high.